What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving my prediction for the Florida versus Utah game. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel. And it helps me grow as a content creator. Cal Whittingham has done a fantastic job with the Utah Utes, and they have a lethal team coming back this year, guys. I did some research. They have a lot of talent coming back on both sides of the ball. And leading that pack on offense, they have Cameron Rising coming back. Uh, this guy threw for 2,493 yards with 20 touchdowns. And he also rushed for 499 yards with 6 touchdowns. He won first team all Pac-12 honors and had a completion percentage of 64%. So this is a guy that's very, very talented, can run the ball, pass the ball. We all saw the game against Ohio State. He showed his ability in that game, and he's going to be a quarterback to look out for in the Pac-12 this season. And at running back, they have Tavion Thomas, who rushed for 1,108 yards with 21 touchdowns and had a 5.4 yards per carry. So lethal running back in the running game. This is another guy that's going to be deadly on their offense. And he also ran 129 times for 689 yards with 7 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Cincinnati. So, he came from Cincinnati, and he's now in Utah Utes offense. He's going to be very, very lethal. He's going to make their team, that much better, offensively. So he's going to be a guy to look out for. And at tight end, they have the junior Brent Coote. I don't want to butcher his name, but he's a tight end. He has 129 catches for 1,676 yards and 13 touchdowns. And he got 4 rushing scores as well. And he's averaging 13 yards per catch. So another guy that's going to be lethal in their offense. They spread the ball around. They're a very, very hard team to defend, guys. And he's 3-time all Pac-12 target as well. So, like I said, a very, very experienced guy, very talented. And Utah's offense is going to be very, very good. And on their defensive side of the ball, they have Junior Tafuna. He has 33 tackles with 4.5 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 1 forced fumble recovery. And this is a guy, on the D-line, they're experienced, and their defense is going to be pretty good, guys. At linebacker, they had Mohamed Diabate. Probably pronounced his name wrong, but he's a linebacker, and he has 176 tackles with 6 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and 3 forced fumbles. And he's a Florida transfer, so he's gonna be playing against his old team, his first game. So he's a very, very talented guy. And I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, but I know I think he's from Auburn, Alabama, but I can't pronounce his name. But he's a very, very talented guy. Definitely gonna be a guy to look out for on their defensive side of the ball. And at cornerback, they have Clark Phillips. And he has 86 tackles with 3 interceptions, 2 pick sixes, and 15 broken up passes. So, like I said, guys, Utah's defense is pretty stout. They're definitely going to be a team to look out for this season. A lot of people, say, they think the Pac-12 doesn't play good defense, but Utah has proven that wrong. They have a very, very good defensive squad coming this season. Utah is the defending Pac-12 champions. Utah will probably be the best defense that Florida played, besides Georgia. So, this is going to be a very, very tall task for Florida, on both sides of the ball. And the only thing about it, Utah hasn't fared well, like when it went on the road playing against other teams. But this is definitely a team to look out for this season, and they can change that this season with a win over Florida. And I'm going to switch over to Florida notes. Florida is bringing back Anthony Richardson. He threw for 529 yards with 6 touchdowns, but he also had 5 picks. That's not good, but I heard he did pretty good in the scrimmage and everything like that, and he's going to be the guy that's going to lead them this year. And if he can put it all together, he's going to be lethal. He's a guy that can run and pass as well. So if he put it together, he can be dangerous. He also ran for 401 yards with 3 touchdowns. So like I said, dual threat. If he can get accurate with his passing, he's going to be lethal. And they also have a offensive guard in Osiris Torrance, and he's an all Sun Belt blocker for 2 seasons at Louisiana. So this is a guy that came over with Billy Napier from Louisiana. So he knows he got continuity with his coach, and he knows what his coach wants. So he's a very talented offensive guard, and he can probably play tackle in certain situations as well. So a very experienced guy on the O-line. And at running back, they got Montrell Johnson, who had 162 carries with 838 yards. He was averaging 5.2 yards per carry. So lethal running back. Actually, Florida had a pretty good running game last season. So I expect them to be able to try to implement their run game in this game, guys. So, and they also have, he also had 12 touchdowns and 6 catches for 53 yards last year while he was at Louisiana. So this is a guy, he can come out the backfield, he can run up the middle, he can do it all. So it's good to have that type of running back on your offense. Now, at wide receiver, Florida has Justin Shorter. He has 66 catches for 818 yards. And he has 6 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Florida. So he has an average of 12.4 yards per carry. So catch. So very lethal wide receiver. And I think he came from Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. But he's a very explosive wide receiver. Then we'll switch over to Florida's defense. This is a team, they struggled defensively, last couple of years with Todd Grantham as defensive coordinator. He's no longer there. He's actually with Alabama right now as an analyst. But Florida's defense wasn't pretty, good the last couple of seasons. And they're bringing in 2 new guys, and Patrick Toney and Sean Spencer, which, Sean Spencer is an NFL guy, has a lot of experience. And we already know Patrick Toney has the college football experience. So those 2 guys working together, I expect this Florida defense to make a huge jump. And by doing that, they have a lot of guys with experience this season. I'm starting the defensive tackle, Javon Dexter. And he has 70 tackles with 3 sacks, 6.5 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and 2 forced fumble recovery. So this is a guy that's a beast on the D-line. He's a junior this season, and like I said, a guy with experience, that's been in the defense, So in that linebacker, they have Brenton Cox. He's a senior, and he has 41 tackles with 8 sacks and 14.5 tackles for losses. So, another guy, a senior, that's been in the system. So, also Ventrell Miller, who's also a senior, 2 linebackers, that's been in there. So, they have a talented squad, guys, and expect Florida, I think, going to make a huge jump. At cornerback, they have Jason Marshall, 23 tackles, 1 interception, 3 broken up passes, 2 tackles for losses in his first season. So another talented guy, and he's going to get another year up on his belt. So I expect him to make a huge jump. And at safety, they have Trey Dean and Rashard Torrance. Like I said, 2 guys that's been in a senior and a junior. Like I said, that combined with Patrick Toney and Sean Spencer, that's going to make leaps and bounds a better defense for Florida. Florida normally back in the day used to have, top 10, top 15 defenses, since Todd Grantham was there, I think they was out of the top 25 or something like that. That's unheard of. Florida normally has a stout defense, but I think they get back to it this year. And with all that being said, if I had to make a prediction of who I think is going to win the game, like I said, Utah is very good on both sides of the ball. And I've seen some picks where people was making, they think, Utah's going to get the win. But something tells me, Florida is going to get the job done. I think they're going to be able to run the ball later in the game. And like I said, I think their defense as a whole is going to make a huge jump. And I don't think a lot of people are really looking at Florida, to make a huge jump. But I think Billy Napier has got something pretty good going on over there. So I think Florida's going to win the game. I think it's going to be close. If I had to give a score, I'm thinking maybe 30-27 or something like that. But I think the Gators get the win. I think they're talented, overall. I think they got more talent overall, when it comes to Utah. Don't get me wrong, Utah is very, very talented as well, but I just think the Florida Gators are going to get the win. And then, they're playing at home. Utah has to play in Florida, and it gets really, really hot in Florida. I think by them having, home field advantage, I think that's going to play dividends in Florida winning the game. And Florida has one of the loudest stadiums. I heard some of our Alabama players saying, that was one of the loudest places they played in. We all know Florida played Alabama tough last season, so I think Florida gets the win in the end. And Billy Napier starts off, being a head coach with a win over a very, very talented Utah team. But that's all I have today. Leave your thoughts on what you think is going to happen in the game. And once again, guys, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.